So let's look at the answer for this question. At what age do people marry in your country? Again, some useful vocabulary. So, at what age do people marry in your country? Well, I think that people get married in my country usually when they're about 25 or 26. After they've completed university, they decide to choose a spouse to marry. And again, if you're a man, you're a spouse, and if you're a woman, you're a spouse, and it's either the man or the woman. And I think the biggest thing to do in my country is we have an engagement. So we have an engagement party celebrating the union between the man and the woman, which is the bride and the groom. And then we set a date for the wedding, and then we have our wedding ceremony. And the wedding ceremony will include the actual wedding, and then also the reception afterwards, where everyone celebrates the union of the bride and groom. So that's a great way to answer that question. Okay, so we already discussed the question about what age do you think people marry in your country. Here's one that's very similar, and again, we can use some of the same vocabulary. At what age do you think is the best age to marry? Now they're asking you your opinion or your idea. So, what's your idea? So, maybe you could answer that question like, well, I don't know for other people, but I think the best age to marry is maybe 29 or 30, because then you've completed your university, maybe you went for your MBA or your master's. There's another word that you can use, MBA or master's. And you've already maybe purchased a house or a home to live in. So now you're a little bit more, here's another good word, self-sufficient. That means you provide for yourself. In other words, your mom or your dad don't pay for everything. You pay for everything yourself. So you're self-sufficient, or another great word is independent. So you're more independent. So these are great words. So for me, I think the best age to marry is 29 or 30, after I've already achieved my MBA or master's, I've completed university, and now I'm ready to start a family. So maybe that's the right time, when you have some money. Okay, let's take another look at family, and maybe a question a little bit more toward marriage. Have the ways children are raised in your country changed? Sorry, have the ways that children are raised in your country changed? Sorry. So, with this question, we want to think about what's different in our country. So, here's some useful vocabulary: single parenting, joint parenting, more responsibility, and development of economy. So let's take a look at this question in two ways. Let's think of more of a simpler way. So, number one, you want to answer the question. It's either yes or no. And for most people, I think the question is yes. In an earlier question, I spoke about the family, how has it changed in your country? And I think today, because both mom and dad work in many countries, I think that the dynamic, or the way that children are raised has changed as well. In the past, I think it was a single parent that was doing most of the family raising of the children, and usually it was the mother. And also in today's society, there are many single parents. So many times you'll have a single father or you'll have a single mother raising the children. So let's look at this two ways. Have the ways children are raised in your country changed? Well, yes, I think the way that children are raised has changed. When I was younger, before my brother was born, my mother was always home with me. But today, now my mom and dad both work, so I'm left home showing more responsibility to help take care of my brother. That's a simple way to answer. Now let's think about a more detailed answer or a longer answer. Have the ways children are raised in your country changed? Well, yes, in the past in my country, only one person worked. And it was usually the male that went out and worked, and the mother stayed home with the children. So it was always a single parent that was in the home taking care of the children. But in today's society, I think with the development of the economy, now both parents are going out to work. And it's needed that the brothers and sisters help take care of each other at home. That gives the children more responsibility, and they learn a sense of independence. So that would be a longer answer. So we've seen two ways to answer this question. Now, can you think of a way that you would answer this question? What do you think? How would you answer it?